What does fashion mean to me? Fashion means everything to me. Fashion, I would say, it's what I want as my legacy. It's me trying to leave my footprint in the sands of time. I am Ilabor Jessica, the creative director, dinache kuto. I'm a lover of fashion, color, music, and security, considering the times we are in right now. And I'm a daughter and a sister, and most importantly, a lover of God.
Welcome to today's episode of Tales of Triumph, here on Screen Sage TV. Tales of Triumph is a program designed to x-ray a course of action undertaken by individuals that have resulted in continuous progress for them. A legitimate, effective, and adaptable course that anyone who desires success can follow on their journey to greatness. We do hope you will be informed, motivated, and encouraged by the story of our guest today, as our utmost desire is to see you succeed in your chosen career.
How did dinache kuto start? Dinache kuto started from two places, a place of love and a place of not knowing what next to do. As a young girl in Abuja, I participated in a pageant, Miss Comely Queen Nation, and I emerged Comely Queen North Central for 2014 and 2015. So I actually thought my attraction for fashion had something to do with pageantry, had something to do with beauty contests, and I participated in one and I emerged a winner. But after that, 2014, 2015, I actually didn't get the satisfaction or fulfillment I expected from participating in a pageant like that. So usually one would expect me to go for something higher, but I didn't feel like, because I didn't feel that's what I actually wanted to do. So I had to take the time to figure out what I wanted next for myself. And then it just occurred to me that, okay, the dress for this competition, you made it yourself. Yeah, you didn't actually put the whole fabric together, but you chose your fabric, you chose your color, you chose your style. Even when the tailor, it won't go. This is not what people wear for pageantry. I stuck to my design and my idea, and it came out amazing. So at that point, I was like, maybe I should actually focus on fashion. Maybe that's where it is when it comes to clothing and putting color and fabric together. And that was it. Like every business in Nigeria, I decided to take the first step, which is getting my business registered. And I did that in 2018. But after getting the business registered, business, how do I go about it? What next? How do I approach this business? And it occurred to me, I was like, okay, fine. Let me go learn the craft of fashion and let me learn the business of fashion. So I took some time off. It was 3 years actually because of the pandemic. I was doing all of that even during the pandemic and everything. So it took me 3 years to learn the craft of sewing and the business of fashion. And officially, dinache kuto started in 2021. At what point did I convince myself that this is the business for me? I would say that was after the pageantry, after the whole celebration and the whole, you got the crown, and I didn't get the satisfaction I thought I would get. Yeah. And then after I got my business registered, there's no going back. At that point, I was convinced that this is what I actually wanted to do with myself. Do I have the formal training in fashion? No, I don't. I have what we popularly know as apprenticeship training. That's informal. I had that for a period of time, and I still had a period of mentorship under someone who is really big in the business too. So I guess that's training, even if it's not formally. But hopefully, with time, I could get a formal training. But in the business, you're basically learning every day. Fashion is evolving, you have to evolve with it. Trends are coming, so you have to keep up to date. So basically, still learning in the job. So how will I describe my experience in this business? I'm tempted to use the sentence my siblings will always say. They say sometimes it's struggle wrapped in strength. Basically, it's a lot of amazing moments, lots of stressful moments that you ask yourself, like, is it actually what I wanted to do with myself? It's been good. It's been a roller coaster too. So, but God has been there. So that's all I can say. Who is my biggest motivation in this journey? At this point, I would say my biggest motivation. I want more for myself. I want best for myself. I'm not where I want to be yet. So I'm basically being motivated by what I want for myself, what I want my future to look like, how I want dinache couture to be, how big I want this brand to be. So at the moment, I am my biggest motivation. Have I experienced any low moments? A lot. Like, it's often, very, very often, but you know, it's business. So I don't dwell on those low moments. We have the high moments too. I prefer to focus on that. Focus on the positive side. So that's it. Any regrets so far since I started this journey? The only regret is I wish I started earlier. But you know, like they say, no regrets in life. So we just learn and move. How do I describe business in Nigeria? Nigeria is a developing country and we are still growing. We are trying to keep up with the whole growth coming, and then we're actually doing way better than we were some years back. And it's been good, even though we've had some challenges, but it's been good. Okay, the challenges you encounter in Nigeria. First one, power. Yeah, power supply. It's stressful, it's draining. Yes, aside the noise pollution and extra cost of fuel and all of that, it's draining. Then even with the light bills, like, it's a whole lot. And then another challenge we actually have is the resources we use. We don't produce most of the resource we use. So we end up having to import a lot of them, and that tells on the price of our finished products too, and then could actually chase some customers away because of the high cost of production that end up reflecting on the price of the finished product. So what are business lessons I've learned so far? Running a business is not as easy as one would assume. I'm saying for myself, it's not as easy as I thought it would be. I thought it was just something, own a business, have your name, have your own shop, have people working for you, and then everybody's calling you yes ma'am. Well, it's not like that. So at the moment, I'm learning what I have learned is having to separate my cost of production, my finances, separating my business account from my personal account, and making sure that before anything is being done, everything is being sold, anything is being made, everything is costed properly, so I don't run at a loss because I have bills to pay. So excellence and hard work when it comes to my business is having to put in the effort, the extra effort, time and dedication to make sure the product that is being delivered to the client meets the client's expectation. Not something you just do and the person, I'll just make do with it. Excellence is making sure it's in the perfect state and it meets the expectation, even beyond the expectation of the client. That's what it means to us. Do I hope to retire from doing this? No. Why should I? People who have been in this way before me are still in the business. You have people in their 60s, 70s in the business. Why would I ever think of retiring? Fashion is life for the now. So you're doing it long term. What gets me in the mood for creativity? Just the thought of making someone look good. The thought of color combinations and all of that just makes me want to do something. Be creative. How do I catch up with the trends in the industry? Thank God for social media. It has made it pretty easy. So always on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter, following up the trend. Then we'll have the fashion shows too. So thank God for Spice TV. So we follow up everything happening. How do I explain fashion to a 5-year-old? Okay. Fashion is fabric, color, styles. Fashion, it's you. It's what you want. It's what you feel comfortable in. It's what you think it is. Fashion is what you think it is. What color, what fabric, whatever choice you make, that's what fashion is. Gone are those days when you say this has to be this has to be this. People are going way off what we even expected people to do. So I don't think there are any rules anymore. Why do I think people want to go all out for fashion? We as humans, we're constantly evolving. We don't even want to start talking about the climate change right now. Things are not the way they used to be. So people are thinking out of the box. People are finding a way to getting a balance with our climate, with our body, our sizes, like our kind of jobs, the places we go to. Everything is changing. And for that, we actually have to change because we have to adjust to all of those things. So the standards we used to have 5 years, 10 years back are not the same standards we have now. So fashion cannot remain the same. Why is fashion so important to us? Fashion is life. Fashion is me. Fashion is you. Dressed. You're going to the office. Like, your day-to-day life revolves around fashion. Fashion is always important. It's always going to be important. How do I source for my products? That part is the work in fashion. Sourcing for fabrics. Lord, all the way. Sometimes it's from Aba. Sometimes it's from Lagos. Sometimes it's from Suleja. Sometimes you just order online. So you're outsourcing, like, depending on where you get what you're looking for. So it's like that. My definition of customer service is making sure your customer gets exactly what they actually want. And then even if it's not what they want, or you give them what they want and they say, this is not what I actually want. Customer is always right. I think you should listen to them and find a balance. How do you handle dramatic customers? I just keep calm. Actually. I just keep calm and let them vent. So when they're a bit calmer, they can have a conversation. I think that's it. What advice should I give to my younger self, knowing what I know now? There's no perfect timing. There's no perfect time for anything. Start where you are now with what you have. That's what I'm going to say. What's my understanding of life? I just think life is what you make of it. I think life is just a lot of intentional actions or events actually playing out. So life is what we make of it. It's the choices we make. That's basically it. Why would you choose dinache kuto? Okay, dinache kuto is a brand that stands for conscious style. We are dedicated to making amazing outfits for men, for women. In fact, we're basically for your bespoke, ready to wear. We're into bridals too, for your school uniforms, for your office wears, for your staffs. So we are basically into all of that production, and we are targeted at having excellent service. Coming from where I worship, where excellence is actually a very, very vital point. So it actually reflects in dinache kuto. So if you're looking for excellence, perfection, dinache kuto is a one-stop shop. 5 years from now, I see a lot of dinache kuto around Nigeria, north, south, east, west. Lots of outlets before we start going global. But I want dinache kuto fully grounded in Nigeria. Every part, north, south, east, west, everywhere. Then we'll go global. My parting word. All I'm going to say at this point is that I'm going to be very spiritual, but that's it. It's not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of God that showeth mercy. So for everything you do, for everything you intend to do, take your time. Put God first, and then every other thing will be easy. It might not be pretty easy, but better. That's it.
We are sure you can juxtapose the story of our guest today with other stories of successful people who you must have heard. They are usually driven by curiosity, which gives birth to vision in them, and by sheer passion and consistency. Even in the face of opposition, they succeed against all odds. Until we come your way again with another interesting episode of Tales of Triumph, we urge you to please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification button so you don't miss any of our interesting episodes. From us all at Screen Sage TV, we say bye for now.